Hello and welcome aboard, ladies and gentlemen. This is your host, Captain Kibs, signing on for hopefully what will be the last update in regards to anything in Patreon or Subscribe Star for a long time, because I really kind of want to focus on writing content and getting back to work on stuff, and I'm going to start working on the next technical readout video, which will be coming next, so that's actually a rather big one. And I'll talk a little bit more about that, but I'll save that to the end. So first thing I want to go through real quick, this is a video mostly updating existing patrons and Subscribe Star members, on how it's gonna, we're sort of restructuring. At the end of this month, I will have it restructured finally. So as it stands now until next month, which is, just for the calendar's sake, it's in May. So beginning May, on Wednesday the 1st, we will implement these changes, but not until that happens. So first thing, I will be condensing all the roles for all of this. Basically, we're going to actually end up getting rid of the sulfur miner role, and what we're going to do is we're going to condense it, mostly to be fair to the people who have joined us on YouTube. We actually have a fair few people that have joined us on YouTube and are subscribed to us there, and they're paying $5, and I can't actually adjust the rate to go lower to $1 to match the other reward tiers on the other services, which is unfortunate. It also won't let me adjust or have multiple tiers. It's thanks to YouTube, it's very, very linear, and so it's kind of hamstrung those members to being limited to like only one thing, but they don't really, for either reason, people have various beliefs, don't like Patron, which I totally understand. I totally get that. Totally respectful of that. Subscribe Star, same thing. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to roll the roles, all the benefits into one role to match YouTube. This is going to streamline it quite a bit, actually, across the board. So for approximately $5 a month, that'll give you all the benefits that essentially you get here, which is, good God, I'm still trying to learn how this works. Okay, yeah, so early access to lores and LPs, which this means you have access to the backlog playlist, which is right here. This is a playlist which I update frequently with whatever videos that we publish, and I post it on these sites so that you know when there's a new series. The recent series we just started recording was Halo Reach, and the reason why we created a backlog is purely because, I want to focus developing and writing more on my game as well as working on lore, and the only way to do that is to give me Mondays and Tuesdays. So Mondays and Tuesdays and sometimes Wednesday videos, any sort of these Let's Plays, sort of like these things, are backlogged series. The idea is I get more leeway to work on other projects, because I'm fully employed, and so technically I'm working, 3 jobs if you want to be, a little bit specific, because I'm working on the game, working on YouTube, and then I have my full-time job. So I'm always working on something around the clock. So this is a way for me to delegate more time for lore videos and help to increase their content and quality. We've been doing this for quite a while. Arch even does it. A lot of people who do like specialized videos who have Let's Plays do this sort of process if they aren't centric on Let's Plays. It's just bonus content, essentially. So yes, the backlogs will include any future lore videos as well. So I'll be updating this. This backlog is also updated, so as a video becomes out of date, as in the recent Dawn of War episode was published today, I think it was episode 9, yeah. So that was removed. I update this log whenever we publish a new video, and whenever there's a video that's ready to be in here, it'll be in here. Or if it's a canceled series, it'll never get published. I don't know if I'll actually do the Ace Combat 7 series, not sure. Not really sure on that one. It's just kind of a pain in the ass to record because the game just, for whatever reason, is poorly optimized. So that might just remain here purely because it's just too, if it can't be completed. And I'm a bit of a completionist. I only like to show my finished work, or finished series, so to speak. But yeah, so that's that. So yeah, no, I will be rolling all the rolls down into the $5 bracket. So that's the Bubble Cultist roll on the Patron thing. I will keep the Disciples of Squick up, but it'll be mostly a bonus tier. Like, I know a lot of people want to support me, and they like to have that option, so I'll keep that there. I will end up rolling away the dollar tier, so that's unfortunate, but I want to make it fair to the poor guys on BoobTube, because it won't let me adjust anything. Thanks, Google. Other than that, there's not anything new in that regard. That's kind of all I had to say. So hopefully that works for you guys. I don't think there's that many Sulfur Miners members anyways, so not the end of the world. But for the Sulfur Miners, for those of you who have the backlog, here's how this works. One more thing before we talk about the technical readout lore and the Aerith narrative stuff that I'll be working on next. So, if you've already donated $1, I'm going to do something really nice for you guys. This playlist will not be deleted. I've covered up the link here, but it'll be in the next Patron post following this video. So, check the Patron, check the subscribe star. If, whatever reason you missed it, just DM me and then screen cap stuff, and then we can, make sure you get your stuff. Basically, what that means is you have a full year access of early access content. And what that means, kind of how it's going to work from now on, you donate $5 in Subscribestar or Patreon, you get full access for a year. Same thing for YouTube, technically, because I just repost the playlist, but with the current updated video. If you save the playlist and you just want to donate one time, I think one time, $5, that's a year's worth of content. That's a lot of early access stuff, and I think that's actually a pretty good deal, and I feel pretty good about that. So let me know if you guys have any questions, concerns, or maybe, criticism if you don't like this sort of idea that I got. But, it's just sort of to say thanks for that. People who want to support are going to support anyways. I've talked to a lot of the supporters, as is, the people who actually give me money, and they're like, yeah, no, we want that lower content anyways. We want that art. And it's like, okay. And then we'll keep producing lower videos as is. So as it stands, to the technical readout video we're working on for Battletech, which is the 2750 period, Star League era technology. And we'll move up through the periods and times and stuff like that as we go. But I will only do the lore when I have enough money to do the art. I'm not going to be pulling money out of my pocket as much as I used to. I mean, I'm still operating at a slight deficit, but thanks to you guys, it's nowhere near what it used to be back in the day. But, yeah, I mean, we'll keep producing lore. So, probably it'll be a lore video a month or a lore video every other month. For the technical readout, because there's so many things I want to do, I'm going to make them fairly big. It might take 2 months. 2 months for the art to be paid off or get made. Because I'll be using the donations for this. I'll be using my personal assets and shifting them more to the game. If we get enough donations, we'll increase the lore count, but it won't go past a month. Any excess donations, I'll be free to do with whatever, per usual, which you know what I'm going to do with them. They're going straight into the game. But that's just what I want to do with it. But, yeah. So I think that's pretty satisfactory, and I think I like how that works. Because, you guys do so much. I mean, just being here, so... And for those of you who have supported, $5 a month, that's no big deal. Anyone who's kind of supported already, like I got all your names on a list. That sounds terrible. I am the KGB now. But, so when our game gets closer to release, for those people who are, still members of Patreon or Subscribestar, or if I know you personally and you've also given a fuck ton of money before, because there's a couple of you and you know who you are. I feel really bad for the amount again. I will hook you up with a sort of quote-unquote care package, so to speak. So you'll get something special for your support, because it means a lot to everybody at the team that you guys have, invested in us and given us that little bit of support, and I want to show that back to you when the time is right. But this also brings me to one other thing I want to talk about. So another thing a lot of people always ask me in private is Kickstarter stuff for the game. Now, I don't want to do Kickstarter. And there's one simple fact that I'm just going to tell you right now. If I do Kickstarter, that means I have to get it out by a certain deadline, and I also have to meet reward tiers, etc., etc. And I just don't really want that, because for this game, it's very much a passion, a work of passion, if you will. It's been a childhood dream of mine forever to write this game and to basically create this universe and the story. And I thank the team that we have now that we've made so much progress as is. But I really don't want to cut corners, and for the most part, most of it I'm going to fund out of my pocket. So a lot of the assets and money that were going into this channel will be shifted over to that, purely because, that's kind of my dream, and I want to pursue that dream. Now, does that mean anything bad's going to happen to the channel? No. We'll just keep content. Nothing's really going to change. If anything, the lore updates or content will be actually improved now that, thanks to our buddy Sala, Ranaraid, and Sandra, we got more artist lads ready to rock and roll and pump out some kick-ass artwork. So yeah, no, that shit will keep coming. We'll keep that coming. And I've also taught myself some Adobe After Effects, special effects, just minor stuff, but we'll keep improving the lore slow bit by bit. It's been a great process, and I thank all the criticism and critique we've gotten thus far, because this helps to improve. If you ever have critique or criticism, feel free to just message me directly. I actually would prefer it that way, because it's also easier to read or get back to you, just because I try to get back to comments, but it's not humanly possible to keep up with them. So what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to only comment, or I'll skim through them. If I put a heart on something, it means I read it, just to signify, like, yes, I read that. But at some points, like, I can't keep up with, like, videos that are, like, a few weeks old because they get buried under all the other comments and new comments. I'll occasionally, if there's something I see, if I spot it, I will try to say something, whether it's negative connotation, if somebody's like, oh, you're such a piece of shit, and it's like, well, thanks for the criticism. I guess what I can take from that is that, not everybody likes me. That's fair. It wasn't in that context, but no one actually said that. I'm just kind of making that up as an example. But I'm sure somebody will eventually, or has, and I just missed it, or it was so strikingly bad that I wiped it from my memory because I couldn't handle it. Couldn't dish the heat. I Shia LaBeoufed it. I LaBeoufed out of existence. Oh, that guy's a meme. He's like dead now, isn't he? Fuck, I don't even know. Anyways, but yeah, that's kind of how that's going to work now. So next month, and I'll be posting a update in each one of these things. Yeah, it'll all be rolled down, $5 tier, everything. If you save the playlist, if you save this backlog playlist, it'll be up to date until the end of 2019. So, right when we switch over to 2020, then we'll just do it yearly. So if you only want to do a $5 donation, that's more than enough, I think. In fact, the fact that you're donating is already amazing. I'm talking to supporters. I know I'm talking to a lot of people here. It's hard to talk to each little group, but yeah. I mean, just the fact that I have a following. I never thought that this would ever happen as a child. You know what? Fuck it. We'll divulge a little bit more backstory about how this sort of came to be. So YouTube, as a whole, for me, was kind of like a secondary project, and it was called Project Recognition. The idea behind YouTube, when in like 2010, when we were like in middle school, Tyler and I, the guy working on the game with, we're like, oh, we're gonna do a YouTube channel because then we'll use the YouTube to boost our name and get connections to help, help push out the outreach of this game we wanted to make. Now, back then, we didn't know how to make games, and we were so dumb we were making it in Java. Yeah. That was a special time. Oh, God. Oh, you should have seen our faces when we figured out we couldn't actually make animations, or we couldn't figure out how to get the Java programmer software, the engine we made, because we had this delusion that we had to make our own engine, because no, it has to be our own engine. We can't use things like Unity. They've got such bad connotation, all these things around it. I don't want to use that. That'd be attributed to us. It's no, come on. There's no way humanly possible. That's back when I had unrealistic standards, because I want to make this game. It's a work of love, really. It's like a love letter to this idea, this universe I've had in my head and daydreamed about forever. And that's kind of it. And I've kind of realized, the expectations I had as a little kid, yeah, we're just going to fucking be we're going to be like the new Star Wars, we're going to blow people out of the water. That's going to be so, is no, you're so unrealistic. Past Kibs was overly ambitious. It might fail, but, whatever. I think the best thing is the experience that we've had thus far working with people, and I just can't wait to see what people think of it. Whether they like it, whether they don't, I just hope that at least it makes some people happy. And so we'll eventually start announcing more stuff when the game looks more presentable. In its current stage, in the current prototype it's in, it is very crude looking, but it works. It works actually, and it's been actually amazing to get to this point. And the fact that we have concept art for characters being churned out, and everything's just sort of coming together. It's something that's spectacular. And I just I don't know. It's like a childhood dream, and I always had this worry that if I'd achieved even the idea of just working on it, if that would become a point where I'd be like, oh God, this isn't what I thought of. And you know what? It's actually everything I always wanted. That's kind of weird. Now, does that mean it's going to be a success? No. Does it mean it could be a failure? You should honestly expect and prepare for the worst, because, it could be a failure, and I'm not perfect by no means. And it's only thanks to the good team that we have that we've been able to get as far as we have with it. I don't know how to program. I can barely draw. And thanks to the artists, and thanks to the various people working on the project, and the excellent programmer, Tyler, just fucking outstanding work he does, and everyone else, Pfeiffer as well, we've been able to get so far. And at the very least, it's been a journey that's been pretty spectacular. So it's been an awesome run. And it's really only thanks to you guys, because I feel like I got a second wind, because, we've been trying to do this since I was in since Tyler and I was in 3rd grade, he was in 4th grade, and we came up with this idea for this game. And I can tell you the name because it doesn't really matter because I'm probably going to change it at some point. It's called Mixers, and the idea was like it's an idea of like fantasy and science fiction all merged into one. It was the worst piece of fucking plagiarism I have ever seen in my life. That's what it was when it started. It was so bad. It was so bad. And then we just kept working it, rewriting it, and making various additions, and eventually it just sort of morphed into its own entity and became its own thing. And it was like, I'm proud of it. It may not be the perfect thing, but I'm actually really proud of it because it's come so far. And yes, I have been working on it for about 16 years now. And so since we were like fucking like 8 or 7, because I'm 24 now, like holy Christ, we've been working on this for a long time. But we never really started working on it until like a couple years ago when we were like, you know what, let's just do this. It was always just talking, always just like, oh, we should do this thing. And we didn't even start programming it really until just the beginning of this year, really. And so it's just, and then everything just sort of fell in place, and then things just started to go. It was kind of a weird thing, really. I don't know. It was weird. Wish Tyler was here right now, but he's busy working too. So, oh well. You know what? We will probably disclosure more because I don't know. I'm very protective of the story idea because I don't want to spoil because the idea of the game is that you have narrative elements, right? You can choose and do stuff. And I kind of want that to be a surprise. As soon as it's launched, or as soon as there's like a beta or something, I have no idea. I have no doubt there'll be spoilers or whatever. But until then, I want to, for those of you that want to see it, you know, when it's fresh, I want to keep it as much as a surprise as possible. So I don't want to spoil too much. So I'm not sure how much we'll ever be able to show, even when we do have it running. But mechanically speaking, it's a turn-based RPG game. And I know a lot of people, I get a lot of these questions a lot of times. I should probably do like a full-blown video on it, but this is going to kind of hold that place until then. Because I decided to feel all of a sudden passionate about it and talk about it some more. But, yeah, it's a turn-based RPG with narrative-based decisions. We have no idea to what extent that'll work and how good that'll be. Honestly, I will write it the best I possibly can. I'm not like a veteran writer. I'm a hobbyist writer, so it might vary. But I have an excellent writing team, and I have absolute faith and confidence in them that they can keep me on my course. Because I can get a little overambitious, too. I ain't perfect by no fucking stretch of the imagination. But thanks to, Bubbles and Fairman, I've been able to stay on track and keep focused, and they've been able to point out, like, hey, Kibs, like, you're bad at science. Also, this thing makes no sense. Fix it. And it's like, oh, shit. Plot holes. Oh, God. Oh, not writing around, but fucking writing back and then writing to and through them and getting that shit all resolved and logic checking shit is, it's a hard process, but honestly, it's been a fun one. And I can't wait till we get the dialogue system implemented. I've been itching to actually do that because, I don't know, I have like a little bit of anxiety from that. It's like, I want to do it, but I'm like also like, I've been waiting for so long. It's like, I mean, I've practiced writing dialogue. I just never had written it for a game where you have options. That's the thing that worries me. Is because I have confidence I can write something that can be serviceable at the very least, right? So much so that you can at least be like, okay, I see what he's going for. God damn it, I became a tranny all of a sudden. Fuck. That shit just happens these days. But, alas, I ramble. But that's probably because I'm getting a little bit gushy over the fact that we just have so many supporters and just the fact that we broke 2,000 subs. Also, another thing, guys, I'm sorry if I rant so much. I'm very chatty. I have no one to talk to. You guys are my only people. Except for, all my friends. Oops, sorry, I just threw them all in the bus. Don't worry about it. I love you guys too. But, fuck, I just lost my train of thought. Something about, like, the game's gonna be, like, the best thing ever, obviously, is what I was probably gonna say. I feel like it wasn't gonna be that, though. It was gonna be something in regards to something that actually was more YouTube-related. Oh, yeah. Okay, so streams. How did you forget that, you idiot, Kyle? So, Command & Conquer 4 is an awful game. I fucking despise it. But because we broke 2,000 subscribers, I'm going to honor my promise, as I always fucking do. And regret it, obviously. But we're going to be streaming next week on Friday. So let me get the calendar here so you can see the exact day. So next week, Friday, on the 3rd. 3rd of May. And it's going to be at 4 p.m. U.S. Central is when we're going to start the stream. And that's where we're going to do a complete run through Command & Conquer 4 Tiberium Twilight in celebration of breaking 2,000 subscribers as the GDI and not. And Bubbles busted me because I was cheating. I was busted because I was trying to power level up my commanders for both GDI and Nod. Yes, that means I spent at least 4 hours on GDI and Nod just to get them high enough rank so I could unlock weapons to make it easier. Bubbles busted me, and we're gonna have to start from scratch. I'm a little bit peeved because I was hoping that I'd surprise my stream and be like, what? How come you can call in those like super powerful broken units and this game is all easy for you, but I'm suffering? I'd be like, ha, bitch. That's not gonna work, sadly. That dream was crushed. That means I spent an extra 8 hours in that piece of shit game for nothing, and it bothers me. It was just, granted, it was just my spare time. I was like, okay, we're waiting for Bubbles or dinner or something, to work on something. And then it's like, it's not the end of the world, but it means I spent extra time in that garbage game. Oh, I'm a little bit peeved, a little bit upset. I wish I had gotten away with it, but I got busted. So, it's over. I'm going to fucking hell for sure. But yeah, like I said, for those of you who, one thing I want to say, closing statements here. Sulfur miners, what a great rank. We'll have to keep or preserve the name somehow, like an honorary sulfur miner. It just sounds so great. But yeah, no, you have access to this playlist. Save the playlist. Save it. Save it. Don't lose it. Save it. If you donate $5, save this playlist. If you don't want to donate anymore, just remember to save it. I know somebody's gonna forget. I do it too. Don't worry. I'm not perfect either. But god damn it. Or just take like a screen cap of your receipt, and so I can be like, okay, yeah, I see you did donate at some point. Here, have this playlist, $5. You can have all of this autism in advance. But yes, again, this playlist, this pre-recorded content exists solely so I have more time to work on the game, more time to work on the lore. And we set aside like every month or so we do like, okay, we need to record a full game in a week as much as possible because we need to get it done and get to work on other things. And it's like, oh, it's always something. I'm always working on something. I feel like my hair's actually no, I'm 24 now. I already have gray hair. Now, that's okay because my pops told me that was actually hereditary, so I'm hoping. Either that I'm turning old and wrinkly real fast and I'll be a corpse soon. But either or, I gotta take my dog out potty. She's looking like she's like, Massa. Okay, enough talking to nobody, you little bastard. Take me to the bathroom. Okay, fine, I will. I will, dog. All right. Thanks for tuning in for this little update. Appreciate all you guys' support, and we look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. And tomorrow, don't forget, Imperator Rome stream. That is gonna go fucking poorly. I have not played that game, and I have not done enough research on it. I have an idea. Hopefully at lunch break I can take a crack at it, but at 4 p.m. U.S. Central starting tomorrow, we're going to try an Imperator Rome stream. That's going to run all fucking day. 4 p.m. till probably midnight. Good God. Assuming it's a stable launch. But until then, see you guys tomorrow, actually. Ta-da for now.